Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium, numerologist, healer, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour Reading Show, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Psychic Hour Reading Show. Hello. So, yes, today we are going to be doing readings in a little bit where you get a chance to ask your questions, pop down whatever that you would like to know. And we're doing numerology, psychic readings, card readings. It's always fun. It's always a good time. We are in the holiday season, and goodness, Hanukkah, Christmas is coming up. We got a lot going on. So everybody feels like busy, or I'm sure a little bit overburdened and overwhelmed to a certain degree. I know the energy's been really thick. The energy's been definitely really thick. And with the numerology, I guess I'll be talking about it later with the numerology hour. This week, I still got to schedule it. The energy is definitely thick. It breeds like this social but really reclusive kind of vibe. And there's so many things that are changing. Of course, there's Mercury in retrograde. So energetically, thematically, archetypically, the energy is a little wonky, and it's not like so smooth. Sometimes energy is smooth, and sometimes it's like, oh, it feels weird, it feels discombobulated, and that's kind of what it feels a little bit right now. Hello, Aspen. Hello, everybody coming on in. And so we always start with the topic of the day to open up the energy. And what I really want to dive into is the energy of just feeling natural. And that is a beautiful thing to talk about. It's about authenticity. It's about sometimes accuracy. If you are connecting to something that is real, that is true, right? So it goes on the energetic level, but also on a very personal level. What works for us and what doesn't work for us. And we all have differences within our work. We all have differences in what makes us happy. We all have differences in what we consider to be the best. And it's all correct if it's authentic, if it's all within our heart, within our soul. And being natural is ultimately just effortless. And it's just a very lovely pocket to be in. You're just like, oh, this feels right. This feels very safe. This feels very certain. Once you get into that pocket very nicely. And that is an immense validation of you are where you need to be. You are in alignment with the knowing, with the sensing, with the connection of a person, with the connection of a job, within your own body, within your own health. You feel an alignment is at play. And there's just oddities that can feel so natural, and there's uncertainties that can feel so certain. And there's no one right way. You just know when things feel natural. And I think that's very important because within this work, we're always learning our voice. We're always learning to hear. We're always learning to see and feel. And we all do it so differently. So sometimes when we hear feedback of, oh, this is the way that it could go, or it doesn't work for me like that, you think, well, then, my goodness, what am I doing wrong? But really, it's about just picking up the pieces along the way so you understand your authenticity in the most authentic and unique way that you can just through the experience of. So it's not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be, I figure out myself so I can be authentic right away. It's the trial and the tribulations of this is me and these are my unique lessons and this is my unique story. This is my unique understanding on how I become me. So it's a journey, a destination, as well as a sensation and knowing, and there's like a wisdom in it. And really to have the naturalness be known, a lot of times we do have to pull away a little bit from the busyness of life and the complications of the social interactions because we have to go, what do I bring into the mix? What do I bring into the mix that helps uplift my family, my friends, my job, that helps add to, what we're all creating or just adds to me enjoying the experience? And a lot of times we don't know those questions. Do you always know perfectly what you add? Well, we won't say the word perfectly. Do you always know what you add to your family and friends or your job, like with precision? Do we always know that? And in some situations, yes, and in some situations, well, I give a little bit of this and I hope for that. And it's just knowing who you are and knowing what other people bring with their authenticity to you. Not that we're supposed to know other people better than ourselves. It's just we go, my authenticity honors your authenticity. And that's why we get along. And I love this part of you. And sometimes we help people see themselves, but we have to know a part of ourselves to help others see themselves. We have to know that this is important to share. This is important to be a part of. And within our own like psychic mediumship too, we have to know the authenticity of how we work. We're always changing with how we work. Um, from year to year, psychic and mediums, they read and work and experience things so differently because they might have different things going on within their lives that they're rectifying, or energy is coming to them differently, spirits coming to them differently, and they feel that their energy wants to express in a certain way. And when they honor that, when they acknowledge that, they might want to work more. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling it. This work is so healing. Or they might go, I need to take a little break a little bit more, but I'm still very much in love with what I'm doing. I just know that I need to recharge my batteries differently. If we're honoring that, we work really well within the world. There are times where I want to do more numerology. There's times when I want to do more psychic. There's times where I want to do more mediumship or healing. And yes, I have my specialties, but I really honor where the energy is going. And I find that's where I have my best success. And that's a strong mantra for me right now today. I honor where the energy is going. And that's where I find my best success. I just let the authenticity of the greater knowing guide me because sometimes we don't always know. That's why we meditate. That's why we pray. That's why we go, I'm giving it up to what my preconceived notions are or what I feel I've placed my box around myself to be. And I'm seeing what happens when I go bigger than myself. So, with everybody working on what you're working on, get to the bottom of it, but break free and find what your limits are. Find what your authenticity is. Find who you are and what feels so natural and true. And it's truly restorative within that truth. Okay. So we're going to go into readings, and please pop down your numbers, ask a question. For me to pick you, I have to read that you want a reading. That's the way that I pick you. You say, hey, I want a reading, because sometimes people just comment. Sometimes people just like to listen. So write down that you're open for a reading. You can include a question or just say general. And I will, if it's numbers, I'll do some numerology. And then otherwise, I'll do a card reading or just sense into what energy that I'm feeling from you. And we'll do it like that. So comments, and then hello everybody coming in, by the way, like Leanne, Constance, hello. There's a question. Let me bring it up. I heard we all have a spiritual tool box, and it's up to us on what tools we want slash are able to work with. And then there's other tools that others may have that we collaborate with in the spiritual toolbox. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer of that. Um, just like on an energetic sense, we have tools that we've acquired because we know how to use energy. I was just talking about it with Jennifer Rose on the interview series, and we were talking about Albert Best, and he was a really well-known medium in the UK, in England, and he was a postman for many, many years before he went and did his professional mediumship. He was a postman while he was developing his mediumship. Um, so this was a part of how he used his energy every day. And how you'd get evidence for people is he would um, give them their address or give them their loved one's address. And that was his signature trademark. And just his brain knew numbers and addresses and locations. And so he could describe what city somebody lived in. And it was tremendously good evidence. And people who are like, let's say, mechanics who are natural intuitives or got into mediumship or psychic work, they can describe cars. They can give evidence through, I think your dad drove a Chevy or your mom had a blue car. They're able to tap into that very naturally because we're grabbing so much when we're blending with spirit, whether someone else's spirit or someone who is passed, and we just grab what we can see and feel and touch and hear. They give us 1,000 pieces of evidence, and we're lucky to get 5 really good ones, as they're blending and sharing with us. So what I'm trying to say within our spiritual toolbox is we all have energy that's easy to access from our prior experiences or our current experiences. Whether like past lives, we have talents that we've carried over or ones that we currently work within. I like cooking, so I get flashed food sometimes. Not always, but when I do, I have comfortability with it because I'm in that element. I'm in that element a lot with my own spirit. So yeah, we all have the spiritual toolbox in different ways. And I know when I have psychics and mediums on the show and we're doing like a reading show that I collaborate with how others use their mediumship and it opens up my mediumship. And that's how I like to work. So it teaches me about my spiritual gifts when I collaborate. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you just find the people that can help lift and open you up, just like you can help lift and open others up. And have it be natural. Have it be natural. Okay. Let's see here. Right. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Jackie. Hello. I'm spiritual. I love that name. It's creative. Yes, exactly, Aspen. So, Debbie and I, we help open each other up with the different things we're unfolding with our collaborations. Okay. So, all right, we're starting readings and let's see here. We got Jackie and Aspen and Kashina asking for readings. Yes, Kashina, we're doing readings. And then thank you for the blessings. I appreciate it. And Constance too as well. Kashina, you can ask about others, but in order for it to be a connected read, they have to be connected to you. They have to be connected to you. So, all right, let's start. Let's go from the beginning. All right. Jackie was first to ask. Okay, so Jackie, I got the family card and unraveling the mystery, and then the overwhelming and drowning card. Well, sorry about that. It is the holidays, everybody. Just hang tight, okay? It is the holidays. We talked about that from the get-go. But this card lets me know that like you have a good relationship with family, that you know, there is a lot of focus on family consideration. And there are things going on with the family where it's just like, do we really want to tackle this way? Or are we really, it's like it's how can I put this? It's like making sure that everyone's being taken care of and that you're catching things as you go because like raising a family is complicated. You just want to make sure that everyone has their needs met. Or even like with children, you want to make sure that they are articulating what's really going on within their lives and they're not just glossing things over or telling you one story and then you think, oh, okay, well, they said it was okay. But you're like, there's something more to the story. So I do feel like um, it is an acknowledgement within the family to have more like self-discovery of feelings, to have more self-discovery of like knowing when somebody has reached their limit because people say that they're like okay and maybe they're like going through a lot of emotions like anger or sadness or fear and they're like, well, I'm at a 6 out of 10 and since I'm not a 9 out of 10, I'm okay. And it's just like, whoa, like you're actually getting overwhelmed, but like we really haven't had a chance to break down when it's okay to say that you're even feeling a little bit of something that's uncomfortable. So it's like more honesty within the family of what really is going on and how the family can support one another because I do feel like it feels people are overwhelmed. It feels like people are overwhelmed, but it's like everything's okay. And honestly, it's like things are not quite what they seem. So that comes up into the forefront, and that's always fun during the holidays, yes, but it's an overall reaching reason to make sure that people are really being supported properly, that the way that they can be, and also that you are supporting yourself and others are learning to support themselves properly the way they can. Okay. There's also acknowledgement with growing your mediumship and understanding like how that you can connect to spirit and continue to be supported by spirit. And there's like this period coming up where it's like you are unfolding that more, but there is a timeline where it's just like it's a little bit wonky and it's just about practicing during that time. It's just about making sure that you have good consistency during that time and you have good like habits to keep you focused. Okay? So it's going to feel like, well, this is a part of I am, a part of who I am. Wouldn't this come easier and more naturally? And I just feel like things are getting like just busy, lost in the mix. So it's just about having consistency to open up that energy and you're going to find your way through that very naturally and very easily. So just heads up, making sure family is more grounded and people are being very honest where they are emotionally and having consistency and routine with mediumship to support you personally and professionally with what you're working on. Okay, so that's what comes up for you. I just clicked something. I gotta find where everybody is again. I just clicked something. There we go. Hello, we're back. All right. So, where are you? Aspen was asking for her numbers to be read. She's looking for a general end of year reading. Okay, cool. Just popping down your numbers 9, 5. All right. Cool. So attitude 5, and you're in a cycle of 3 going into 4. And just to give you your end of year read, I'm doing your numbers. So I'm adding up your months and your year energies too, because that's what you're asking about. So I'm doing a little additional more work, which is fun for me, but you're probably wondering why I'm looking down a lot for a second. Okay, so I'm just communicating that as I'm here with you all. Okay, so you are in a cycle of 3. Yep. Okay. And then you'll be going into. Okay. So this year was a lot about like opening yourself up, like using your voice more, being more forthcoming, opening up your circles, opening up like the way that you look at things, and having a more optimistic approach to life. Okay. So this year provided actually some really nice healing and gentle upbeat energy. And next year going in, it's going to be a lot more steady energy. So sometimes people like a 4 year, that's for you coming up, because it allows you to ground. It allows you to get your ducks in a row. It allows you to focus on changing yourself for the better. And other people actually get very restless during this time. And I do think you're going to get a little restless during this time. So just heads up, heads up, because it's a very slow going year. It's kind of like planting the seed and waiting for it to grow. And like when you plant a seed, it has to grow over like months sometimes, or even years, depending on what the seed is, to see the fruitation. And so you're just like, is anything working? I planted the seed. Why isn't it happening? And so a lot of that energy can come up next year of, okay, can we get on with it? And so just be very patient, because it is about foundations and building yourself up and letting yourself be in a secure place, so then you can go a faster, quicker speed with more success. Okay. So 2025 is going to be a really nice year for your energy, because you are all about 5 energy, and that's your 5 year. This year is 4 energy, and it works very differently. Okay. For during this time, you will feel called to study. You'll be called to like take classes and pick up things. Like you'll actually have a thirst for, oh, I'd like to try that. I'd like to learn that. That's something that I want to take on. So there's like a focus that comes into play to naturally uplift who you are. And then as well, people during the 4 like really want to organize their homes differently, redecorate their homes, move furniture around, or even move in general. There's like a need to make space or clear out space and to reassess and learn before things hit that next level of change. Okay. So really support yourself during this time that you have coming up, to really secure yourself and really tend to yourself, and be okay with the fact that, this is about working on you rather than results with other people seeing you and what you're doing. Um, you're going to be going into, it's nice because you're going to be going into a 5 month starting next year. So you're going to feel like this zest and this zip of like, I'm going to start the new year off right. I'm going to, I'm going to get things done and that. And so there, you're going to start prepping and preparing, and you're going to be like, this year is going to, I feel it. I feel it. And then just heads up, the year starts kind of like dipping. It's like very positive, but it starts like dipping where it's not as productive. And you'll be like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And that's the 4 energy that I'm talking about. So just be patient and know that you are changing and doing things. It's just in a way where, again, right? Different pace. Okay. So I'm going to give that to you. And then this month, you're still in the cycle 3, because you're in a cycle 3 year right now, Aspen. This month is really focused on family and focused on like emotional needs and self-care. Excuse me, emotional needs and self-care, and how you want to support like how you give your time to others, and how you want to go about creating like balance within the family. Okay, so it's a very personal account of how you want to use your energies that's coming up into play. Okay, so hopefully you can understand that Aspen with just a quick review of the end of the year and then going into next year. Just plan for it. Um, Cool, I love it. So Constance is saying, I would love a reading too. I'm doing my first psychic show next week. I feel like I need to go public with my skills, but I'm a little bit frightened. How did you get the courage to come forward? Oh, wow. This is a really lovely question. And I'm doing a psychic mediumship show with Debbie tomorrow. So I can really feel what you're going through, Constance. That's why I'm just like, it's very timely. Um, so it's just number one, it's about honoring what you want to do within the world and just knowing that that is authentic and that can never be taken away. So whether you are um, nervous or confident or sad or angry or fearful or happy or elated or on the ball, no matter what emotion you're experiencing, you can't take or remove the fact that you want to do intuitive work, that you want to do psychic work, that you want to share this part of yourself. It's there regardless of if we run or hide or embrace it. So it just is what it is, and to make peace with that because it's a part of you, and being yourself makes you happy. Okay. So that when I do this work, even when I feel like tired or exhausted, I feel happy. I feel happy because it is a part of me that I just love to share. And we should all share the parts of ourselves that are just so natural and helpful. Okay. So that's how that it eliminated that frightened, state that you're talking about. And also too as well, another huge thing for me is when I'm around people or I'm expected to do things with people, so it's greater than just myself. There's like a switch that turns on with my brain with certain activities where I just go, "Okay, and we're gonna do it now." And there could be like a nervous dialogue in various capacities, but all of a sudden that switch goes, okay, and now we're doing it now. And then you just show up and then give and share what you have. So there's the honoring of who you are, and then there's just the okay, lights, camera, action. I'm just gonna do it because it is what it is. So like I said, it's always getting back to your truth and always walking your path and always knowing what you want to do. And you might tweak it. Like that's another thing, Constance. When the truer you are with yourself, the more you'll go, oh, I loved this part of it, but not so much that part of it. And I want to do more of that right now, but not so much part of that right now. And you just get more and more comfortable with doing all these things in a way that really naturally goes with who you are, and it should feel more easy than difficult. Okay, it's not going to always be all easy, but it should feel more easy than difficult, and that's again how you validate and reaffirm you are in a good place. So you gotta just go out and do it and know that you deserve good things. And we have to be good to ourselves with what is just authentic, natural, and real. We started the topic of the day with authenticity of self. And so I think that will help spark. Ooh, bless you. They say you sneeze on the truth. So the talk about authenticity of the soul and the self will help spark your courage, because courage is all from the heart, and if you're living from the heart, then even though you're afraid, you know you must do it. So surrender and trust that even though it feels maybe very scary, that there's a bigger reason at play. Okay? You got to trust and have faith and courage in something bigger than yourself, in spirit, in the universe, in God, however you connect to, you have to have that courage and that first, and surrender who you are to that higher purpose because they're guiding you to do something for a reason. Okay. So that is how I would say it, Constance, and hopefully that would help. Um, All right. So let's see. Kashina, let's see. Oh, you have two-part question. Let me see. She's talking about, okay, it's a question about marriage. Okay. Talking about marriage over the course of marriage. Oh, okay. I'm at the second part of the question. Um, so Kashina, since you did ask, I'll pull some cards and we'll just see what energy comes out. And I'm going to trust that the cards are going to answer your question, okay? Because this is something actually quite in depth, and stuff like this is good for more like personal one-on-ones because it is so personal and it is so intimate and it is so complicated, honestly. So sometimes when things are very complicated and they need a lot of healing and a lot of grace around them, sometimes, um, I'm just going to pull a card, and the simplicity of that card is going to provide you in the direction of what you are looking to find with clarity. And that's how I'm going to do it. Okay. So I got the opening light card. And the opening light card is all about letting things come to light. It's all about letting things naturally be. But to actually understand it, whether we are afraid of it or whether we are unsure of it, we have to put our awareness on it and go, hi, hello, this is the situation. And you do it in a way that is neutral, and you do it in a way of just knowing and just connection of, hi, what is this situation? Hi, what meets me back? So there's almost this innocence within the opening light card of what just is naturally here and what trickles forward. Okay. Okay, I got the summer song card too. So there's an element at play here where it's just like with the opening light card and the summer song, it's those two connected really are like, we gotta relax. We gotta relax. We're letting tension and fear breed more um, uh, more problems because there's already problems. Okay. So there's an indication that there is a lot of hurt and sorrow present. And we are going, well, what's the next? I'm going to look under the next boulder and I'm going to look for the next issue because there's already something here wrong. Right. And so it's kind of like to enact the healing and for you to be more relaxed and for you to be more in a state of health. And so you can have clarity with how you want to move forward. And since you already would be clear because you're taking care of yourself, you can also catch what is going on. Additionally, to confirm and reaffirm how you want to go forward. So the truth will come to light, but you have to relax and you have to take care of yourself because the truth could be right in front of your face, but you're so tense and overwhelmed and upset as you could be naturally with what you're going through, that when we're so overwhelmed we can't see the signs right in front of our face. So you have to relax and take care of yourself and let the rest play out because it will. The truth always comes to light. Okay. So that is what I'm going to give to you, Kashina. All right. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for understanding. Um, all right. Right. Keith. Oh, I love that Aspen was talking about when I started the reading. It was 222 over in her part of the world. And I love that because we celebrate the master vibrations, also called angel numbers. We celebrate them. All right, Keith. Absolutely. I'm gonna start. Okay, cool. Oh, I love it. So, what popped up and out is the career and vocation card for you, Keith. So this is about creating and putting emphasis on how you want to move forward within your path and bringing it to the forefront of this is like the greatest part of what I want to enact and how I want to use my energy. And it's going to create like a host of challenges and gifts and surprises all at once. So like the connector card I got was the compassion and the feeler card. And it was in a placement where it's like as it's supposed to because this work it makes us very sensitive even when we already are sensitive. So it increases our sensitivity as you can understand. And so it will make us feel what we're already feeling and have already felt on an even more extreme level. So it makes us feel kind of ungrounded, and we go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this next level of feelings? So it calls for you to really trust yourself and know that all the oddities of feeling, the full spectrum of feeling, you're like, this is part of the work, and to make sure that you are then in healing for yourself or have others to facilitate a healing space as you're opening up more and more of who you are. So it's like in order to keep your heart strong and for you to be courageous and find that next step, there has to be support with releasing emotions, understanding about emotions, and having good friends, family, or fellow light workers in your corner to help open you up as you know you are going forward and having to trust yourself. I love it. I got the card because I wanted to do three at least. I got the golden ticket card. Oh, I love it. So it's like if we get this into place where it's just like the confidence is built as well as the emotional sturdiness, right? And we need help to cultivate that and practice to cultivate that. Like there's a lot of luck and there's a lot of success because that's what the doctor ordered for you to understand this lesson about yourself. That this is the next level and the next gateway to accessing exactly what you need to be successful within your work and feel like I'm where I need to be and I have confidence within this. And so the card is the fruit of your labor and then some, like gifts from the divine. So you are blessed with this additional work and this like storm that you go through that breeds all this light and healing and change. So very, very auspicious, very good. It's just embrace the emotions and help yourself as well as help have someone help you transmute the emotions of the the sadness or the inconsistency of feeling like does this feel good, am I in the right spot, and it's all yes, just go through the storm. All right. Keith, let's see, let me so true and yes, that's where I'm going to with the mediumship. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you got the golden ticket card. You're the first one to get the golden ticket, actually. The first one to get the golden ticket out of this deck. So that's saying something. That card was meant for you. All right. Okay, so let's go. Angie is saying, hello. Hello, will I be good at my job next year? And will my coworkers like me? Okay. I want to tune into the energy before I do some cards, or I'll do both at the same time, whatever comes forth. So I do feel like um it's kind of like racking your brain to like appease like the worry, racking your brain to appease the worry. And like, can you understand, Angie? And if you're here, let me know if you're still here. But can you understand, Angie, that like you're a planner, like you're one that likes to plan and organize, and it's something that is just a natural part of your personality. And it's like this one you can't plan for. You just kind of have to show up and see what happens. And I feel like there's going to be someone around your age that you're going to vibe with. Um and it's just allowing that to again, okay, yes, okay, it resonates that you're a planner. Okay, thank you. So I do feel like there is someone, like I said, since I know that you're here, is around your age and that you're gonna vibe with them and you're just gonna have like a good rapport. Okay. So it's about just kind of knowing that there's good people around and knowing that people don't have agendas and that people are there to work and just kind of like appreciate other nice people. So I do feel like this atmosphere is more low key within that, that people are going to be working and doing their job, but there is room for that kind of connection of, hey, like, how's it going, and like the positivity of like bouncing back, like, hey, like, that was good that you what you did, or how's your day going. So I do feel like there's this natural kind of openness. So I like see your desk, and within a room you can go many different directions, but if you can, I don't know if you've seen your desk or where you're going to work exactly, but I see your desk and I feel like you're perpendicular to someone else's desk. Okay? So it's not lined up like this, but it's like lined up like this with how you're facing each other. And as you walk in to sit at your desk, so as you walk in to sit at your new desk, you're going to be like to the left, and the person similar in an age to you is going to be at your right. And like this is the one that you're going to kind of banter with. And like there is like activity and people like beyond behind you, so it's like a little like you're connected to a place where there's like a lot of activity, people walking back and forth and doing different tasks. So it's like you have this like little place where you can talk to this one person, and it goes well. So I feel like again, if you're worried about if you're gonna vibe with people and things are gonna go well, I feel like this is a very easy place with just natural ease for people who are focusing on their work and they are just welcoming good vibes. Okay. Oh, you understand this. Cool. All right. You have been there. Thank you. All right. Thank you for understanding that. So then it's validation for like, don't worry about things getting too crazy or if people are not liking you, because I feel like it's very natural. Okay. We use the word natural a lot on this show, but it's very true. Okay. I have a feeling that they didn't like me. LOL. I feel like that everyone's getting to know each other, honestly. And that sometimes when we feel like it's not going like 100% great, that we can be like, well, I'm going to close up now. I'm going to close up now. And so I think everyone's just feeling each other out. And it's kind of like, can you understand this? It's very much work first. Okay. The environment is very much work first. And then there's like a little bit of banter. So can you understand this, Angie? Okay. All right. So the reason why I want to put that into the mix is because yeah, you can talk within the lunchroom and stuff, sure. But like when you're just working and doing your absolutely, that's the impression I get, work first. Yes. So it's just like concentrate on just being a great helper, a great like team member, and like concentrate on that first. And then as you ease in, just continue to open up, and then just trust that you like, how can I put it? It's like trust in like, I know that sounds, it's very weird I'm gonna say this, but maybe you'll understand this. Like trust in the gratitude of like they're just happy to have an easy work environment where things get done, things go well, and that naturalness of we're just here to work then creates the open space of And eventually I'll learn what this person is about. And eventually, as I appreciate that this person has my back at work, we pop in this story and that story. Okay. So it's like, it's not all at once. The social connection will be a little bit delayed, and you have to trust and have gratitude that there are good people around like you. It's just their work first, and they're sizing you up in a way to see how much your work first too. Okay, so just be in that environment, and the rest will open up. Okay, but like just be really happy just to be there within that gratitude, and that will radiate from you, and they will respond very well to that. Okay. Um, you're asking, well, that's an additional question. Do you feel like I'm going to meet my husband at work? LOL. I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure. I don't. Sometimes that's even hard to find, just in general, unless that kind of smacks me across the face. But this is. I'm gonna say it like this. This is like a very transitional period for you. Like this job was a step up, if you can understand. So you feel like, okay, how am I stepping up within my life? And that's why you're thinking about like job and marriage and how everything fits. But like this is a step up where you normally work, and it's just like things are coming together. Like I do feel like, if you can, so this is why I'm saying this, if you can like plan a girls trip or plan a trip where you are honoring your freedom and exploration of how you are maturing into the person you want to be. Okay, so to attract that next level relationship, like you attract that next level job, it's coming into yourself with more of your confidence and more of your understanding of, I get to have something beyond this. And so how do I go out into the world and push myself a little bit farther in other categories like travel, um, to explore who I really am in connection with the world and what I really want, not just what I think is the next right step. So I want you to go out there and explore, share some stories with people of what you're up to, light yourself up, and then you'll light others up. And I do think that's the next step with meeting some of the right people coming your way. Okay. And hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to give that to you, Angie. All right. So I love it. Hearts. And Jessie Cat. I think you had a question, Jessie Cat. Let's see. You give me a birth date. You got. You gave me a wrong birth date last time. That's funny. Let's see here. Okay, someone had a question. Should he get this new job or stay with the old job? Okay. All right. And that's based on November 18th. That's based on November 18th, right? Or November 11th, excuse me, I think. All right. Okay. Well, some of the nice thing is if, there's a wrong birthday received, or if there's a wrong birthday given, um, so some of the things, since we were a month early, that you said you gave me October last time instead of November, which is okay. Things happen. Um, it's almost like if you can treat that like I gave you a reading a year in advance. Okay, so treat it like I gave you the reading a year in advance. There's going to be some similar themes at play, but the progression is like a year in advance. So you can still take what that reading was to a certain extent and apply some of those things. So that's kind of like the nice thing about numerology. If it's off by just a month for the thing that you asked last time, because it has to be very specific. Some of the things can still apply depending on certain things. So take what I said, and it was a year in advance. So that's part of it. Okay. Let's see here. And she said, yes, it did resonate, which is crazy. Yes, and because it would resonate because the numbers are still mostly the numbers are still mostly in line. But but it hasn't come to pass. And at the same time, he still is going through those things right now. Okay. So that's why it kind of resonates, even though, and I'm laughing about it because, right. Yeah. Like you have to technically kind of like understand what would apply and what wouldn't apply, but it would still resonate for those reasons based on what you asked. So I like that. So good. Okay. So you said November 11th. Okay. So attitude 4, um, personal day 2, and life path 7. Okay. So 3, yep. That's right. And then so that would be a cycle of 2, and it would be going into a 3 next year. Yeah, I have no idea even what I said last time, honestly, because I don't remember readings unless you start telling me like specific details, and I go, oh yes, that's right. I do remember some, but when we're doing so many. Anyway, so getting back into things, he had the question about the job, and just based on the numerology. So there's an attitude 4, and this is like a person who likes to plan ahead. We talked about planning ahead before, but hey, that's what an attitude 4 does. Um, and there is a sensitivity to this person where he really wants to get it right and he counts for a lot of details. And he's always making sure that he plays his cards right because he doesn't want people to take advantage of him. So there is that within his natural mix of how he approaches situations and people. He's in a cycle of 2 right now, so that would be amplified, that feeling, "Am I making the right move for me, and am I doing things in the right way for me?" And this year, we're at the end of it, yes, but this year, to bring up the most helpful things is to make sure that he's in touch with his emotions and going deep into stuff about his past within his childhood, going deep within understanding what his fears are, what are holding him back, and what emotions are rising up, to make sure that he is in touch with, wow, I feel really uncomfortable right now, like with where I'm at. So that must mean that this is not the right fit for me, and to get very congruent within that. So a cycle 2 always makes people feel extra, to make sure that they're honest with themselves of what they really want and of who they really are. And to remember what lights up their heart, because 2 is all about love, and it's reconnection of self through the emotions, and reconnection of self through actually how others mirror back love to us. So frequently, when you have a cycle of 2, you'll have like a ignition or transformation of love, where you'll get closer to your spouse. You might have a new animal come into your life, or a reigniting of friendship. Okay. So it invites you to live more authentically on that level, through love and reconnection of self. You're going into a 3 next year, and so that's very good because it's all about opening up your network where you're socializing and you feel like, I'm ready to change and mix things up where I don't want to play by the same rules. And I'm doing that in a way where I'm going to explore my options and it feels natural for me. So right now, exploring the options feels trepidatious. It has, but it's going to feel differently next year, where things are kind of just going to find you at times where you're like, I could do that. Yeah, that does seem like a good idea. Huh. I should start, expanding my horizons. So it feels natural to branch out. Okay. So follow that feeling and just know that it's good to take a chance, and it's good to actually take life not so seriously, because you will find hidden gems within that. So allow life to guide you with kind of restoring what actually feels natural to you. And with a cycle 3, sometimes it's about taking a trip, sometimes it's about networking, meeting other people, like having the bounciness and the funness of life show you doorways into opportunities of I can actually do this differently. And that actually makes sense as I see other people doing it differently. So allow yourself to get out there, move, change. It's going to be a much more social and busy year for the better. Okay, so that is what's coming out for your energy going forward. All right. Um, oh, I like this question. So Keith asks, so the question for you, how do you find out a soulmate connection with numbers? Okay, yeah, that's like a great question. You can totally do that with numbers. Um, so soulmate connections are like energies, as well as energies that create like tremendous feeling or connection and action within what the two number frequencies add up together in or express. Okay, and so within soulmate connections, it is truly a feeling thing, but you'll see it within the numbers. If it's healthy, you'll see it very naturally of their similar number clusters in certain placements of where they use the energy in a way that supports one another rather than clashes against one another. You will see that in couples charts too as well, where if it does clash, it indicates a lot of arguments, misunderstandings, frustrations, and that is a soulmate connection. It can be with clashing numbers, but it's about really honoring each other and understanding that you do things differently and you have to have a really, really surrendering experience of what you honor and respect in one another because you're so different. And most times, those relationships are better when they're not so close together because your numbers don't not operate in harmony. Okay, so soulmate connections, a lot of times indicate you have similar energy in certain placements. It doesn't have to be exact energy because there is exact energy in numerology, but it has to be similar and supportive energy. So it allows you to be you and feel like you're supported and understood. And that person lives a life in a way where they go, that works for me too, and vice versa. Okay. So it's very interesting because the last thing I'll say, like in astrology, you could have like a lot of similarities um, within what you appear on the surface to have with somebody, and then you go deeper into the chart, right? And you figure out the differences. Well, same with numerology. In other modalities, you could go, oh, there's similarities, but when you break it down with how you work together, it's a completely different way of reading. Okay, so you have to look of smack dab with how you individually work together rather than just, oh, I'm similar like this and you have this. And we have the same number here or we have the same sign there. Much more technical. All right. Okay. So we'll take like I am was earlier. Ooh, yes, it's exciting sometimes what comes forth. Let's see. Oh, I love how you were talking about your signs. That made it very natural to just segue. It made it very natural. I love it. Okay, so you're 7/3/1960. All right, so attitude 1, personal day 3, and then you are a life path 8 as well, and you were in a cycle of 8. Okay, so just double checking the math. Yep, that's correct. All right, so an attitude 1, um, when someone has an attitude 1, these people know what they want. These people are very black and white sometimes, where they're just like, I want to do it, I don't want to do it. And you can't tell them otherwise. Once they set their mind to something, it's on. It's on. That is what they choose, and that's the way that they're gonna do it. So, on one hand, it's a blessing that you are so locked in and sure of yourself, and there is a lot of good things that come from that place. The other thing, just heads up, is sometimes you're so laser focused on things and the way that works for you sometimes that there are other things around you that you will not always catch that can be saviors or glimmers of understanding additionally. So remember to pause and continue to open up your perspective to continue to help yourself shine and have success. If you're ever feeling stagnated or confused, there's always extras everywhere. You're so laser focused. You pull people into you quite naturally because you have a personal day 3, and that allows others to actually feel very like open and receptive to you. So you have no problem with first impressions. You have a very welcoming vibration, and your life path is 8. So when someone is an 8, they need to be the boss, the manager, or the person in charge, or they need to actually go and do their own thing and be entrepreneurial, to have their own thing going on in their own way, especially if you are an attitude 1 in the mix. Like you need space and creative freedom to just birth what you need to birth into the world in order to help people. Because you get ideas that don't fit in a box and you have to help other people grow and get out of their boxes. I love that you put down your astrology too. You put Cancer, Sun, Rising, Venus. So you have Cancer in all those placements. Oh, yes, you're very watery. That's quite lovely. So, you're very nurturing and caring for others. You want to really see others rise and do their best, right? And you always have ways where you're trying to um, promote the philosophy of how we can be our best self. Okay, that the word best comes in because there's like almost a refinement with how we're always learning how to tweak our energy and be within our power. Okay. um you said, I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I feel like isolating, but yes, you are right. Yes. So a personal day number, I talked about the 3. Um, it doesn't mean it's always what we prefer. It just means people naturally are very much attracted or resonate to us because they feel very comfortable in our presence. Um, a personal day is what our outward energy is. It's not always, again, like maybe what we need on our path every day, but is a part of us. So just know that that is like a superpower that you have, and you can use that to your advantage when you want to be social. And you can understand that that does typically happen, and you can just set your boundaries a little bit stronger when you want more quiet. So it's good to know what energies are within the mix. Um, you are going into a cycle 9 next year. You're in a cycle 8 right now. And so this year was really focused on health and your grounding and just making sure that everything is working properly and that you have what you need to feel like you again. Okay. If you can understand that. 8 is really about a year with checking in with the body, emotional health, mental well being. It's all about, how do I work? How do I function? Do I feel like myself? And what can I do to go forward very consistently and strongly? Okay. So this year was just getting back into yourself on another level, as well as next year is really saying goodbye to the limitations and integrating who you are becoming and what you want to leave behind, because I do feel like there's the next phase coming into what you want to do within your work, and this is just kind of like a cocooning and butterflying phase that is coming forth, and we're going to butterfly phase like next year and the following year, 2024 and 2025, butterflying phase, next level. Okay. So this is what's coming forth in your energy. And I hope you understand. You're saying, I love others, succeed and being your best self. Yep. That was with the whole Cancer thing and Libra moon we were talking about. And oh, I'm so sorry. And you're healing. Okay, yes. There's changes that come into play within a cycle 8 year. where we really have to get down to the truth of things, of what is going on and how we can go forward from what life gives us. And it completely changes the way that we have energy and the way that we walk in the world and that we show up for work. Eight, like, is a very cataclysmic as well as nine time where it reorganizes how we process things and what our approach to life is. So, kind of, I want to give you, let's see, right. So, the number one thing that I'm kind of getting forward with, like in your energy regarding that, is this is a time, and I kind of talked about it earlier. This is a time for you to get back into a rhythm and a schedule of things because things were lost, if you can understand from like just the sheer overwhelmingness of the loss. So it's like getting back into a schedule, getting back into your focus, getting back into your strength, and to allow yourself to have the discipline, and I say that with a lot of love and compassion, that you had prior, because there has been a lot of time where you've done self-care and you've done self-healing, but since you've needed so much of it, you had an extension kind of on like, okay, and now I'm doing this a lot more because I don't quite feel like myself. So it's like, we give ourselves overt time to kind of just be, kind of to just float, kind of to just assess. And then sometimes we go, and I'm here and I should be doing this, but I don't want to push myself, but I should be doing that. I don't want to push myself. Um, and you talked about you're trying to unpack, put everything away. 36 years, the waves come and go, but I'm processing the loss. Yes. And so I'm definitely not pushing anything to go forward past what the healing requires you to do, but spirit is coming in with the master your own fate card and also the summer song card placement of saying like, okay, like you've done some of the processing, and so we need you to pick yourself up as you're continuing to processing, and the work is going to heal you, and the structure of you going into your normal day a little bit more again is going to heal you. Spirit is going to heal you through helping other people, and you're going to ease into that, okay? But don't shy away from it because you need some additional healing. Don't isolate too much. Don't just let the days go by because you feel like you need a break. They're saying that there is greater healing coming from actually the work that you do and how that you are bringing yourself back into your day and allowing yourself to take care of yourself within that intention, within that focus of, I'm doing this next, and I have this planned, and I'm living my life, and I'm still healing, and I still need my alone time, but I'm living life with others, and I'm opening up my heart to others because life is meant to be lived as well with others as I continue to heal. Okay, so however that fits, just honor it, and that's what comes in as you are butterflying your energy, um, going forward next year and into 2025. Okay, so this is an evolvement process, and I'm just giving you that. Thank you, thank you. So thank you for understanding I am, and thank you for opening your heart to receiving. And thank you, everybody, for being here today with me. Please, with that said, go with love, luck, light. Don't forget to live. I will be seeing you. I'm going to probably be doing the numerology hour on Sunday, but I will definitely be seeing you um, for the other shows coming up. We're going to have a little bit of a break for the holidays, But I will be seeing you later this month, everybody, in December. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Take care. Happy holidays.